Okay, so today we're going to think about some of the properties of 3D shapes that we need to know about. Now, properties are characteristics or things that 3D shapes have that we can use to identify them. So the first property I want us to think about is faces. All right. Now, the face on a 3D shape is a surface area like this one that I can see here on my Rubik's Cube. All of this orange area here I can see is one of the faces. All right, I have another face here, this blue area, and this white area would also be a face. Now I can see that altogether this white area is making a face in the shape of a square. So the face on my cube here, all right, is a square. And I can see that if I turn it round to see the green face, all right, that's also showing me a square. And the same with my red face and the blue face. So in fact, all of the faces on a cube are squares, and there are 6 faces in total. I can count them. 1, 2, 3, and then if I turn it round, 4, 5, 6. So my cube has 6 faces that are all in the shape of a square. Now, you'll notice that the square is a 2D shape. So any faces on a 3D shape are 2D shapes. All right, and we'll have a think about a couple more examples of those in a minute. The next property I'd like you to think about is something called edges. Now, an edge is where 2 faces meet. All right, that's where we get an edge. Now on my cube here I can see that I've got the yellow face here and I've got the red face over here. And here where they meet, this line running down here is the edge. All right. Now if you imagine if I put it down here and I show my shape, my 2D shape that this face is, all right, this edge is this part of my square, which I would call the side of my square. All right. So what I would call the side of my square becomes the edge on a 3D shape because it's meeting another face. All right. So that's an edge. I can see I've got another edge here running down that joins the yellow and the blue faces together. And I've got another one over here joining the orange and the yellow. In fact, on a cube, I have 1, 2, 3, 4 faces running along this side. And then if I imagine I've got another 4 edges running down, 1, 2, 3, 4. So at the moment I've got 4 faces, 4 edges, sorry, on the top, and another 4 down here. And then finally, if I turn my cube all the way around, I can see that I've got another 4 edges here, 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 and here. So in total, my cube has 12 edges. Now the last property we're going to talk about is vertices. All right, vertice, or we call them a vertex when we've got more than one of them. All right, vertex. Sorry, I should have said we call them vertices when we've got more than one, and a vertex when there is just one. All right. Now a vertice is where our one or more edges joins. All right. So here I can see on my cube that I have an edge running down this side, an edge running down this side, an edge running over here, and where they meet is this point right on the top. All right, and that is my vertice. Okay, what we might also call a corner. All right, but we prefer as mathematicians to use the word vertice. Okay, and I can see I've got more vertices on my cube. In fact, I've got one just here because I've got these edges joining together, and I've got another one over here. And in fact, if I count them all together, I've got one here, one here, one here, and one here to make 4 on this side. And then if I turn my cube all the way around, I can see I've got another 4, one here, one here, one here, and one here. So in total, my cube has 4 and 4 vertices. It has 8 vertices. Okay. Now, let's have a look at a couple more shapes. So here I've got my cylinder. Remember I used this yesterday. Okay, and my cylinder, I can see that it has a face here on the end that is making the shape of a circle. And if I turn my cylinder around, I can see another face here, which is another circle. Now, yesterday we talked about some of the faces on 3D shapes being curved. All right, so rather than flat like all of the faces on my cube, all right, they are simply flat. All right, this cylinder, this shape, has a curved face. All right, and if I follow, and if I put my finger here and follow all the way around, okay, I'll get back to the same point. All right, I haven't crossed an edge yet. So this is one curved face going all of the way around my cylinder. All right. Now, with my toilet roll here, I can show, this is representing my curved face on my cylinder. All right. If I cut a line down it, cut it open, like this. And then if I fold out my face, my curved face, so that it's now flat, I can see it's making the shape of a rectangle. So this curved face on my cylinder is making the 2D shape of a rectangle. So I can see that the three faces of my cylinder, and there are three of them, are two circles and a rectangle. All right. Now remember, an edge is where two faces meet. All right. And I can see that here I've got my face that's curved, that's going round, is meeting, all right, my circular face on the end. So this would be an edge. All right. I get the same at the other end. This is also where my curved rectangular face is meeting my circle, so I can see that I've got another edge here. So my cylinder has two edges and it has three faces. All right. Now, vertices, remember, is where one edge meets another edge. Now, I can see that this edge goes all the way around and back to the beginning, okay, but at no point does it touch the other edge going around the bottom of my cylinder. So I can say that this shape has 0 vertices because nowhere is this edge meeting this edge. All right. Now let's have a look at one more shape. This time I've got my ball, or as we call it, a sphere as mathematicians. This is a sphere. Okay. Now on my sphere, I can see that if I put my finger here and hold it, and I go all the way around my sphere, I get back to the same point. All right, so all of the surface of my sphere is the same face. All right, my sphere only has one face. All right, and if it only has one face, nowhere does the face meet another one. All right, because there's only one face there. It can't meet another face if there's only one of it. So my sphere has 0 edges. And if it has 0 edges, at nowhere can two edges meet together, because if there aren't any of them, they can't meet each other. So I can say my sphere has 0 vertices. All right. So just to recap, we're going to talk about where we want to know about 3 different properties of 3D shapes. We've got faces. These are 2D shapes that we can see making the surfaces of a 3D shape. We've got edges, that's where two faces meet each other. And we've got vertices, that's where edges meet each other. All right, okay. So that is my summary of the properties of 3D shapes. If you would like to practice having a go at getting used to some of these ideas, what I would suggest is you might want to go around your house, try and find some shapes or some interesting objects and have a look. Can you see any faces in those shapes? Can you see any edges? Can you identify any vertices? Okay.